All right. Welcome to our yoga practice. We're going to move, breathe, and if you pay attention, usually by the end of it, you'll be feeling pretty good. So you're just going to take a comfortable seat to start. Start to become conscious of breathing through the nose. Yoga, they have sort of not really do's and don'ts, but they're ways to be in the world, ways to treat your practice, and one of them is non-harming, ahimsa, non-harming. Another one is santosha, contentment. These two can kind of work together. And you can apply this to all aspects of your life. How do I move into this world in a non harming way to myself and to others? How do I learn to appreciate deeply and be content? We can take these ideas and not just into our lives, but in our practice, the way in which we treat our asanas, our postures, even our breathing. And so for the next few breaths, really just enjoy breathing. Like this was it. You were content just having a breath and sitting here because it does get taken away from us at some point. And to just feel is pretty good. In addition to being content with breathing, the way in which we breathe can be non harming. We have all been maybe too aggressive or rough with our body and breath in our yoga practice at some point. So take a moment to cultivate just being easeful with the way you breathe and enjoying it. Without straining, now intentionally lengthen that breath. Slow it down, lengthen the inhale, and definitely lengthen the exhale. With the back of your hand, gently place the back of your hand wrist area at the base of your back ribs, so behind your back, just above the kidney. Yeah. And as you breathe this content, gentle breath, feel the breath expanding into that back area, mid back. And on the exhalation, just hug the belly muscles in ever so gently. So the inhale is opening and expanding that mid back area. And the exhale will draw in at the belly area. A few more times. Once you've got it, you can replace your hand on your knee, but keep breathing this way, just without the hand as an aid. And make circles with your arms, inhaling up and then bringing them down to your knees. We'll do this a few more times, but breathe the way we just talked about, even though you're adding in the arms. It's kind of like the butterfly stroke in swimming. Breathing and filling in the back body. Exhale, retracting the belly muscles. Couple more. Last one. Just moving at your own pace. Your inhale, your exhale. Good. Hopefully you should feel still upright, but a little more settled in and back to your body. Keep that settling in. Don't jut your chest or ribs forward and just twist to one side. Breathe as we just spoke of. And then twist to the other side. Stay low. Don't jut the ribs or chest forward. Back to center. Swoop your left arm wide out and up, and then just gently go across like you're reaching across. That's it. And come back. Swoop your right arm wide up and then across like you're sliding your hand along a plane. And then come back. We're going to go each side a couple more times, breathing into the lower mid back area, kidneys. Exhaling, using the exhale in the belly to stabilize our core. You can go at your own pace or just kind of go with me. One more time each side. Good. Turn your palms up. And you can even see that in the camera. Turn your palms up like this. And we're not going to jut our chest forward, but we're going to breathe into our mid back and exhale at our belly. Promise, pretty much all class, but still open here. My teacher called this how wonderful arms. How wonderful. We get to be together, we practice. It's content, it's easy. And we practice in a way that is not harming, but brings benefit to our bodies. How wonderful. Not just feeling the physical stretch here, but the energetic quality. You could even try lifting up the sides of your cheeks a little bit. It helps enrich the pose. Good. Go ahead, place the hands on the knees or put the fingertips out in front of your shins and just hang your head and shoulders. Breathe as we've spoken of. Into the rib, back rib. Exhale into the belly. One more time. Inhale, come up, open the arms. How wonderful. Let there be a quality to the asana. Good. I see those cheeks lifting. Good for you. And then rotate internally. Place the hands in front. Hang the shoulders and head. Breathe like we spoke of. Into the mid rib, back rib, and the belly on the exhale. Good. And from here, you're just going to walk your hands further forward and come to a tabletop posture on your yoga mat. Good. Hands and knees. Hands and knees. You just take a moment, kind of make circles with your rib cage. So we're going to lift our ribs up, wide and down, and then wide, up, wide and down. So you're trying to circle with your rib cage. Kind of feel the hips and shoulders moving as a response to the movement of your rib cage. And we're going to reverse that, trying to keep those back ribs filled as you breathe. Using the belly muscles in. A few more. Good. Center yourself. Go ahead, stretch your left leg back. And keep your toe on the ground. Leg is extended straight, toes on the ground. And stretch your right arm forward. We're going to hold here and breathe like we just worked on. Breathe into that mid rib. And exhale, squeeze up the abdomen. If you want more challenge, you're going to lift that straight leg and balance. And let's replace. Remember, it's early in class. Even if you can balance, maybe you still choose the modest variation. Second side. Practicing contentment and non-harming. Good. Placing both hands back down, knees back down. Lift your rib cage up so it's slightly rounded and send your sit bones back to your heels. So a little more rounded child's pose today. Good. Inhale, come back up. Let's come all the way down onto the belly for a cobra or a sphinx pose. Either way, you're going to have your elbows and or hands a little further out in front than usual. So it's not as intense on the back. With the elbows up or down, you'll push down through your arms to lift up through your crown. Lifting up through your crown, press your pelvis down into the floor. Good. Breathe as we spoke of earlier in class. Good. Bring the hands back. Push yourself up and back and come to kneeling posture. In our kneeling posture, you're going to turn your arms out. How wonderful arms. The simplicity of moving, breathing, and having a mind that can pay attention to it. Pull back. Try not to jut your ribs forward. So it's not like an expression outward of your heart, but like a receptivity in your heart, a welcoming. It's contentment with what is. Breathing into the mid-back. Exhaling out the belly. 2 more. Good. Try to keep the chest and ribs from jutting forward. Interlock your fingers and stretch your arms up into the air. Notice that the ribs stay sinking down. And the chest is still soft. Keeping the back body slightly full today. Good. Bring the hands down the thighs. Go ahead and put your left hand flat on the mat. Bring your left knee forward and stretch your right leg back. So you've got everything in a straight line. Your left hand, your left knee, and your right foot. Left hand, left knee, and right foot in a straight line. And turn your body open to the side. Good. If that back, the middle foot can kind of kickstand a little bit for balance. Open the kidney area with your breath. Stabilize it at the belly with your exhale. And let's drop our hand down. Your right hand is going to drop straight down towards the floor to open the back of your shoulder. And then you're going to reach that hand straight out in front, kind of like a side angle arm. Yeah. Breathe here. Good. Place that hand back on the earth. Let's step both knees midway back and do a kneeling push-up. Lower down and push yourself back up. Use your core. Good. Bring the right knee a little forward. You can kickstand it. Right hand down, right knee down, left foot down. Let's turn onto our side. It's like a baby side plank pose. You'll go ahead and drop your left finger straight towards the earth so it stretches the back of your shoulder. Slowly roll that arm forward, reaching it forward, kind of like side angle arm. Breathe into the kidney. Exhale into the belly. Place the hand down, both knees kind of halfway back. Kneeling push-up, lower down. Use your core. Inhale, push up. Very good. Lift your rib cage up and sit your hips back. Sit bones towards the heels, rounding the back slightly. You can keep the head kind of lifted today. Hands out in front. Breathing into the back. We're not pushing. We're not striving. We're just allowing. What's happening is the diaphragm on the back side of your body can descend a little more. And you can breathe a little more deeply into the lower lobes of your lungs when you breathe like this. Good. Come all the way forward, back to your Sphinx or your gentle cobra. So the arms or forearms will be extended a little more out in front today. Out in front, you're going to push down and forward with the hands, like you're trying to slide your body away from your hands. You can gently tuck the pelvis and push it down into the earth. So the energy shoots out through the big toe. As you extend energy out through the big toe and the hands, you got it. Looks great. Lift up through the crown. Yeah, you're there. You just want to, what we're trying to avoid, because we're practicing contentment and non-harming, is that we don't hinge our spine. We have this integrated curve in our spine to create our back bend. We're not stressing a particular joint of the spine, which can happen when we work a little too quickly. Good. From here, float your arms and float your legs about 6 inches off the ground, locust posture. You're still breathing into the kidney and exhaling at the belly. Keep with it. Good. Place the hands under, and you're going to go all the way back to a downward facing dog pose. Good. Come back down to our knees. Let's kind of do a version of all the poses that we just worked on blended together. So right leg back in the air or down, and left arm forward. Breathe here. Good. Put the left hand down, turn the right foot down, and open your right arm to the sky. Side plank. You got it. Exhale, place that hand down, kneeling push-up, gentle on the body. Left leg back, right arm forward. Where is your exhale? Is it holding your core into one integrated experience? Right hand down, turn the left foot down, and open up, side plank with the knee down. Good. Palms down, kneeling push-up. Round your ribs up and sit your sits bones toward the heels. Inhale, come all the way forward into your cobra or sphinx. A little more extended today. Pushing down and forward with your hands. Pushing down and back with the pelvis and tail. Lift up through the back of your skull. So the whole spine opens in a non-harming way. Good. Downward facing dog. Or Bill, you can just do tabletop so you can stay with the flow. You don't have to put the head below the heart. Let's do that whole cycle again. Coming back down to kneeling, tabletop. Inhale, left arm forward, right leg back. Hold it and breathe. You got it. Breathing like we've worked on, right? Inhales to the mid-back. Exhales to the belly. Left hand down, turn it open. Right side opens up, side plank. Good. Both hands down, kneeling push up. Use your core to stabilize. Second side, left leg back, right hand forward. Hold it and breathe. You're doing great. Think of it as a flow. You know what's coming. Right hand down, turn it open. Both hands down, kneeling plank. Lift up the rib cage and slowly sit the sit bones toward the heels. Practice the breathing in each movement. Coming all the way forward into our cobra. Or your sphinx, whatever works for you. Push the hands down and forward. Push the tail down and back. A gentle crescent in your spine. Looks good. Place the hands. We will go back to downward facing dog. So Bill, you can try a wall dog. We'll be here for about 5 deep breaths. 5 deep breaths. Slow breaths into the rib. Exhale into the belly. Release your neck. Good. Step to your forward fold position. Push down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Reaching up to the sky. Hands down to the heart. Good. Having your feet about hips or shoulders distance apart. Inhale, stretch your hands forward and out like you're holding 2 doors apart. Good. So you're pushing against these doorways. Good. Try to just twist from your waistline. Don't let the ribs jut forward. And twist your body. Back to center. Twist your body. Back to center. Drop the hands down. You can bend your knees. If you want to extend the hands out today, it's a little easier than straight up. Practice inhaling at the mid-back. Practice exhaling at the core. We're not straining, we're not efforting. It's contentful. I'm not sure if contentful is a word. Inhale, reach up to the sky, but I'm content with it. Either way, bring the hands down. Let's practice that sequence again. Inhale, hands up. Push the arms forward, flexing the wrist. Open the door curtain. Twisting at the waist, not really the hips or knees. Twist one way. Don't let the ribs jut forward. Don't let the chest pop up. Twist the other way. Creating an integrated core. Practicing non-harming on our body. Drop the hands down. Bend your knees. Hands can be out in front. Breathing into the mid-back. Exhaling at the navel. Inhale, reach up. Down by your sides. Flowing again. Inhale, arms up. Push the arms out. Open wide. Twist one way. Concentrate on the alignment and the fluidity of the movement. Other way. Drop the arms down. Bend your legs towards your chair pose with your core alignments today. Link to your breathing. Good. From here, swoop your arms down. Take your left arm up and over. Try not to let your ribs pop forward to create your crescent. Still in chair leg, knees are bent, I'm watching. Send the right arm up and over. Good, back to center. Bend your knees more deeply. If you've got blocks, you can put your hands on the blocks, maybe your fingertips just on the floor. Push down on the floor, push down on the blocks to lift the mid-back up, filling in the low, low back lung. Get up on your tippy toes. Good, now step your right leg back and stretch your crown forward away from your right heel. Feel the core drawing in and up. You can put your hands down on the mat or put your hands down on the blocks on a low setting and step back to a long plank, which means your hands are actually going to be in front of your shoulders today. So it looks like a tiny archway that you're making. Your hands are in front of your shoulders. Yeah. Feel that core engaged. Feel the mid-back filled. Good, go ahead and flip that step back. Which was the right? You're gonna step your your right forward now. So it's the opposite leg and you're gonna reach your crown forward, away from your back heel. Come up a little bit higher in that lunge. The back foot can be down on the ground there, Billy. Just the beginning of the class, we're still warming up. Yeah, it's still lunge pose, where you're extending through your crown to tone your core. And step forward, both feet forward. Bend your knees and step your feet apart. Bend your knees again. You can let your heels hover, squat pose. Press down through your heels, lift through your pelvis first, and roll up to standing. Good, relaxing your arms by your sides. Good, we're gonna rock forward onto the balls of the feet. Bring your hands up level with the earth. And then sit down into that chair pose again. Heels can stay lifted or they can touch the floor. We wanna make sure that the mid-back is being inhaled and that the belly is being exhaled. But this simple breath alignment cue can satisfy the entire sequence, sustain our energy in the rigorous, this flow is a little more rigorous. Bring the hands down onto blocks. You want to push on those blocks with your hands so it lifts the mid-back up. You can get up on the balls of your feet as you're pushing down. Let your head kind of hang here. Not you, Billy, that's it, good. Tippy toe, all right, step the left leg back. Work that lunge again, extending through your crown. Draw your core in, this time level 2. If you want, you're gonna remove the blocks and just let your arms kind of hang in midair so the core is holding up your torso. Good, now from here, put those hands back down on lower blocks or on the floor and step into that long, long plank. Mid-back is full, core is integrated, breathe. Good, step the left foot forward so you're on the second side. Come back to that extended lunge, extending your torso. If you want to float your hands to engage the core, you can a little bit more deeply. Stepping forward. You can turn the toes out a little bit, drop down into your squat pose. Remember how we breathe today. It really complements the squat pose. Press down through your heels, lift up, and round up all the way to standing. Good. Turn the palms to face forward, but keep your heart soft. Join the hands together, slide them forward and up. Keep the ribs from lifting up. Let your head almost still hang slightly down on a diagonal. Good. If you can, you're going to practice balancing on your left foot and step your right foot back as slowly as you can into warrior one. Good. Open up, warrior two. Remember where the breath is flowing in the sequence. Good, you're going to do a warrior three, either with the hands on the blocks, which is what I recommend, or the out in front. Lift that back leg as you start to straighten your standing leg. Got my hands on my blocks for this first set. All three warrior poses together. Not stepping outside of ourselves. Good, place that foot back down, sit back in your hips, and roll up to standing. Good, palms face front. We're not letting the chest rise. We're keeping the breath in the mid-back and our exhales toned at our core. Slowly bring the hands together and forward. Inhale, lift them up. Don't let the ribs jut forward. Let the head hang down in about that slight diagonal. Carefully shift your weight as best you can. You can slide that foot across the floor or hover it as you step it as far back as feels appropriate into warrior one. Your body's already in the pose. Looks good. Open up, warrior two. Breathing like we worked on. Hanging out in this pose, no rush to go anywhere else. Content with the asana. This is how you get the lasting effects. Practicing the subtle cues. Hands on the blocks if you want, warrior three variation. Practicing the breathing we've been talking about. Drop that leg down, sit your hips back as you roll up. Palms face front. Good, let's do that each side one more time. Keeping the chest down, ribs from popping forward. Hands go forward, touch, and then go up. Letting the head hang a little bit. This is keeping our upper body alignment. Shift. This time if you want to lift that front knee, it's going to be your right knee. The right knee is going to go back, so the right knee can come up first, and then step it back, trying to smoothly transition into your warrior one. Warrior one, we're facing forward with the arms up. You've got it. The arms stay as they are. Then we're going to drop it open. Warrior two, turning the body open. Surfer arms, you've got it. Content like a surfer, riding a wave. Content like a yogi, practicing on their mat. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to gain or do. Step the hands onto the blocks, put the hand on the blocks, lift up, warrior three. You're going to add a pose this time. You're going to drop that back leg back to the earth a little closer than it just was. So you can do a pyramid pose, gently bowing over the front leg. Both legs are straight. From here, push down through your blocks or whatever it is you're connecting with, maybe your shin. So you're in a flat back pyramid pose. Once you've got a flat back, tone your core, press through your feet, and come all the way up. Good, step out of the pose, palms face front. We just added a pyramid pose at the end. Oh, I can feel myself wanting to lift up as I want to work harder. My chest wants to puff up. Soften the chest down, ribs back. You're going to breathe into your mid back. You're going to exhale at your core. Here we go. Hands touch in front. Mindful not to let the ribs protrude as we lift our arms up. Head can hang slightly. This will help keep the ribs down. Very nice. Make sure you're completing your exhales, friends. You want to draw that exhale all the way to its end. Lifting up the left knee, and in your own time, try not to move your arms if you can. Stepping back to warrior one. The arms are already in their place. Good. Complete your exhales this time. Part of contentment for me is really actually appreciating the details of what we have. Understanding our bodies, our anatomy, our lifestyle. Feeling nourished by the facets and details. Open up warrior two of what's already available to us. How many times have we done these postures? But the yogi can do these postures the rest of their lives. Because part of being content is just this understanding that there is something new in this warrior two to be found. It doesn't need to be wrapped and marketed to you on Instagram as some other pose. The novelty, the beauty of it is here. Placing the hands down on the blocks, lift up, warrior three variation. And we're sending our breath deeper into our core today, into our mid-back, and then exhaling completely at our belly. Reminding us that the goodness, the feeling of goodness is from within. Non-harming, contentment is not achieved by outside objects, but rather it is a state of mind. Plant that back foot down a little closer than it just was. Pyramid pose. That means both legs are straight or basically straight, and you're bowing over the front leg. Inhale up into a flat back position. Looks good. Tone your core, like we've been working on. You complete your exhale to do it, and root down to rise up. Excellent. Go ahead and step out of your pose. Palms face front. Don't be afraid to soften your heart, to let the front body be a receiver of understanding. Good. We're going to go to the wall for a little bit of balancing. You don't have to use the wall, but if you want to have it next to you or in front of you for this next one, you're going to shift your weight over into your right foot and place your left ankle on the knee. From here, we're going to start to bend our standing leg and sit down and back. So the mid-back, like all of class, expands on the inhale. And we fold our belly muscles in to kind of help our sit bones come down and under us. The sit bones, we're not forcing it. It happens just by sitting, just by sinking into the pose. The sit bones come down and under us a little bit. Good. You have to round your body and hunch over, though. We're just breathing. Yeah, come up a little higher, Kathy. We're not hunching over. We're just breathing into our low back. It's not like a cat posture. It's more like a stable plank posture. That looks better. Good. Inhale, coming back up. If you can, try to balance without a wall. Bring your left knee as high as you can and squeeze your belly muscles back. If you need the wall, go ahead and use it. Otherwise, put both hands under your knee. Squeeze your belly muscles back. Keep that mid-back full and just gently push your heel forward. Any amount that feels okay on your body. Don't let the ribs pop forward. Good. Bend that knee and step it all the way back again. Lunge pose. Looks good. I think you're all ready. Right from where you are, go into side angle posture. Yeah, making the best of it with the wall. Beautiful. Bring that hand back down and step forward. Sit back as you rise up. Okay, so we've got our sequence. You know what the poses are, so you can use the wall if you need it. You're going to shift over into your left leg. You're going to bring up your right ankle. Concentrate. I know the poses it wants to lift us up, especially when you're not quite sure what to do next. Soften your heart. Ribs stay back, but upright. Breathe gently, inhale into the mid-back. And on the exhale, the belly muscles roll in to help the sit bones gently come down and under. You can feel it, a place of non-harming, not overexerting, which is being in the pose. Looks great. Very great. Okay, rising back up. You're going to support your under your left knee. No, your right knee, I'm sorry. If you can, flex your heel. Keep the ribs back. Very important. Kick the heel forward. You don't want to feel any jamming up in our psoas. That's deep in our hip. All right, bend the knee. Send it straight back. Plant that foot down and come into side angle pose. Good, Jim. Drop that top hand down and swoop it forward and point it at the camera, the top hand. Yeah, your left hand, just point it at the camera and set it up at the sky. The left hand, Jim, you were there. Just wanted to get that left hand a little further forward. That's it, perfect. Bingo, that's the pose. Good. Step forward, wide stance, roll up. Okay, I've got it worked out now, so that makes sense. We're gonna try that sequence one more time on each side so it's nice and fluid, and how to practice it with the wall. So then we're gonna do this again. Your right leg is gonna be down, so you're gonna want the wall on your right side. This way you'll be able to do the whole sequence very easily, and you'll just orient so that the right, and then this will allow you to step back. This will allow you to kick forward, and then the wall's on your right side. Okay, so make sure that you're gonna press the same sequence. Wall's on your right side if you're using the wall. Here we go. Put the weight in your right foot, hook the left ankle on top. Or just practice balancing, of course. Ribs down and back, expanding the breath into the kidney, mid-back. But more important than expanding the inhale is drawing the exhale out from your abdomen. Listening, enriching your mind with awareness, with the consciousness of your body's sensations. That's where the contentment is. Realizing that there's infinite understanding and curiosity into experiencing the body. Rise back up, bring up the knee. The level 2, 3 variation is to use no hands, but you've got to keep the ribs back and kick the leg forward. Then step back, opening the stance slightly. We'll go into side angle with the left arm up and pointing forward. Very nice. Take a big wide stance forward and shift your hips back as you roll up. Very good. Good connecting. So now the same thing. If you're going to use the wall for support, you'll have the wall on the left side. So the leg can kick forward, the leg can step back freely. Here we go. Rooting down through the left leg, hooking the right ankle. Resist that eagerness to boost the chest and ribs forward and up. Rather, breathe lower into yourself. Hunker down. Settle in. This is the ideas behind contentment and ahimsa. In the Tao Te Ching, it says, that which is well planted cannot be uprooted. It's very simple. This is what our yoga practice can become. It is for many of you. It is for all of you. A lifelong journey. Good, rising back up. You're going to bring up that knee with or without the hands to support it. You've got to keep the chest down. Use the exhales to extend the heel forward. Ooh, good. Slowly step it back. Side angle pose. Still breathing. The alignment breath we've worked on all class. Big old wide step out of your pose. Shift your hips back to roll up, keeping the back body full. Excellent work. How wonderful arms. Chest soft. How wonderful arms. Step wide on your mat. Turn the feet out 45 degrees. How wonderful arms. Practice keeping the ribs and chest soft. Breath in the mid-back. Exhale at the belly. And push your knees slightly out over the heel. Not falling forward, staying upright today. Good. Complete your exhales. How wonderful arms. Good. Extend your legs straight. Put your left hand on the top of your thigh and slide the hand down the leg. Nice and slow, any amount. So you feel the stretch, you feel a sensation, and just be there. It's kind of like a triangle pose today, just a very simple way to get into it. Don't get too fancy. We're practicing contentment. Inhale, back up. Center your hips. How wonderful. Sit back down. Settle in. Hunker down. Anchor yourself. In the Tao Te Ching, they also say, when one hastens growth or tries to overgrow, this will hurry decay. And so our yoga practice draws from this wisdom of contentment and ahimsa. Straighten your legs. Right hand goes down the right leg, any amount. So it looks like a subtle version of triangle. That we don't need to push or strain or strive, that just practicing regularly, mindfully, humbly is going to be more than enough for what we need. Inhale, back up. Pivot the heels out so the feet are basically parallel now. Hinge and bow forward till your hands find the floor or a prop to rest on. When your hands find the surface, walk them as wide as they can go. If it's available, you could hold your feet. Breathe like we've worked on all class. Complete your exhale at the belly. Walk the hands back, push your hips back and roll up to standing. Knees can be softly bent. Looks good. Step forward. Great. Have a quick sip of water, and then we're going to transition to the mat. Today you'll stack your blocks up. I recommend blocks on top of block. Okay, so very sturdy, very steady. If this is not high enough, you'll sit even higher. Even a stool can work. What you're going to do is you're going to put your left foot flat on the floor and your right shin down on the floor. So it's like a half squat and a half kneeling virasana pose. So if we do both of these poses, but we don't know if we always do them together. Okay, depending on your hip mobility, you can think about bringing your inner thigh and your inner ankle closer together. Okay, that would be a little more challenging. We do want to have our hips on something, so keep stacking up props. Keep stacking up props. So it's not a lunge. It's not a lunge. It's like that kneeling pose that we normally do, except we've just taken the left leg and put it flat in front of us. Pillows, blankets, bolsters, or even just a slight stool. You can even sit on a chair and sort of let your shin kind of hang under you. Then once we're here, you're going to take your left elbow, you're going to perch it on your left knee. Okay, if you want to practice a mudra, you touch your index and tip of your thumb together. Or just palm open is fine, but it's a soft palm. Good. Just rest the other hand in your lap for now and contemplate the breathing we've been working on. This is the gesture that you see Hanuman in. Hanuman is a monkey deity, and he has superpowers. He can become larger than life. He can fly, he can become super big, whatever he needs. But he sits here in this humble shape because he only uses his powers when they're needed. He never uses them to flaunt them. He has to learn this lesson through humility. Good, we'll add a gentle twist. So the hand that's been resting in your lap, the right hand, you're gonna reach it forward, up, and back. Don't let your ribs pop forward. All class, we've been working on it. And just twist open any amount without letting the ribs pop forward. Or the chest jut up and come back to your lap. Then reverse the circle, going back first. Don't overreach. My arm does not get all the way back. Not part of the posture. One more time. Circle the first direction, feeling the gentle twist in the spine, breathing into it, and change directions. Good. Take one final moment. You're going to lift up through the crown, but we're not going to let the chest go with it. So there's a fullness in the back of your spine. A moment to meditate on contentment and non-harming. Good. Gently rock forward, or however you need to change your sides. I need a little higher on this side, but I practice within my means. This is the message of today's class. Steady practice, more important than pushing and striving. Extend the right arm out so the palm is up, elbow rests on the knee. Other hand rests in your lap. Take a moment just to find your settledness, to become rooted and grounded in the pose. To remember the breathing we've worked on all class. Santosha and Ahimsa. And when you're ready, you'll create gentle twists, creating circles with the arm, the left arm, and then just reversing that circle. Good. Take a moment just to meditate in this posture. Become content with what the pose and your practice has to offer. Rock forward. Clear your props from your mat. Walk your legs back and go ahead and lie on your belly. You can rest your forehead on the backs of your hands and let your shoulders and elbows grow heavy towards the earth. Gently rock your hips side to side to sort of release your leg bones and your low back. Laying on your belly, it's easier to breathe into that mid back, gently expanding the base rib. And it's also easier to feel the belly muscles hug in to help the pubic bone come under you. Use this posture to support this nervous system calming breath. You can almost think about breathing into the lower back part of your lungs. Slowly. We'll do one additional posture while we're here. It's sometimes called like a G.I. Joe pose. You'll just bring your arms out a little bit and then take your right knee up so that it's your thighs parallel with the front edge of your mat. So it's like you're an army guy climbing. And so if the right knee is bent out to the side, it's the right hand that goes forward. And when the right hand's in forward, the left hand comes to the mat, if possible. So your left elbow's in the air. You get a little bit of a twist. You can look at your left fingers. Still practicing our breathing. Looks good. Change your directions. Right leg back. Left knee comes up and wide. Left hand goes out in front. Place the right palm flat on the floor next to your shoulder. Practice the breathing we've worked on all class. You can only think about the inhale in so much as you can work the exhale. Pushing the air out allows you to bring the air more consciously in. Back to a centered pose. Go ahead and just roll onto your back. Place your feet flat on the floor. Send your arms overhead and roll up into a bridge pose. Still practicing our breathing. And try to get the whole spine to come down so that the low back comes down before the hips come down. Do 2 more of those. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale down. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, rolling down. Bring the knees into the chest. You can rest your hands on top of the knee. Don't push, don't pull. Just let gravity do the work. Put your right leg out on the floor and take the left leg all the way across for a twist. It's still practicing the breathing rather than still practicing the breathing. Contemplating contentment, that there is more to discover. This same simple breath technique, from pose to pose, offers endless detail. This is what we can learn from contentment. My teacher went to Japan to tour and teach, and he studied with. He went to go see a Zen master, and he asked, the Zen master, how long have you been the monk? The monk who's been there the longest. How long have you been doing this meditation thing? And the master goes, not that long. I was like, well, how long? Like, it's just 60 years. Switch sides. Back to center. Stretch out your limbs. Give yourself enough space. Enough space to rest. Stretch your body. And slowly come up to a seat. Namaste.